We're here.
Yes.
Are we here?
We're here. We're live.
We're here. We're here.
Welcome at last to Happy Hour here with Bob and Sheri and Lamar and Heather. Whoops.
And it was well worth the wait, was it not? It was well worth the wait.
Lamar, you look absolutely amazing. And Sheri, you're kind of freaking all of us out with that.
I can't look at it. I cannot
Yeah.
look at it. I can't. Sheri, I swear to you, if you will set your clock and put that on and wake up with Kevin and be about 6 inches from his face with that, oh my God.
Here comes that life insurance.
Make your head go back and forth like one of those cat things.
Yeah.
Like a clock. Yeah. Perfect. Well, hello, everyone.
We don't know what happened. We don't know what went wrong. Did we just lose Bob? I was just about to ask him to stand up so everybody could see his costume.
Oh my gosh, guys.
Heather has been working tirelessly to get us on, and she finally got us on.
Things have not gone well.
I can't deal with today.
No, me neither. Let me see if I can. This cat needs a big old swig of liquor. It's kind of hard to accomplish. I'm just not even going to lie.
I also can't. I can't stand up in this costume because it's one of those onesies with like the butt zipper, and apparently somehow in washing it, the zipper came out of the butt, so it's just open back there.
What happened to Bob? Mary, where's Bob? Max and Doc were not able to join us tonight, which should come as a surprise to no one. We were barely able to join us tonight.
Oh, man.
Everybody. If you look over my shoulder, Kevin carved that jack-o'-lantern especially for happy hour tonight.
It really looks
here,
good.
Here he comes. I see him trying to get back in. Here we go. There we go.
There we go.
Bob, I want you to stand up so everybody can see your costume.
Okay, let me get the right camera on here. I'm still dealing with that. There we go.
There you go.
All right. Don't call me Bob, please. I'd like to be known as Inspector. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when you see this uniform, you're talking respect. You're talking law and order. This is what makes America great.
Bob, your lovely wife says, "Inspector of what?"
What you got, ladies?
Don't make me say it.
Oh my God, you were so scary, Lamar, with that. Good Lord, between the laugh and the look.
That is
Good
an
Lord.
outstanding Beetlejuice. That is so good.
He nailed it. He just nailed it.
Totally. Yeah, totally. Well, happy Halloween to everybody.
Happy Halloween. Or pre-Halloween Eve, maybe?
Well, you can say happy
or
Halloween.
I guess, what is it, doorbell night or cabbage night, depending where you grew up?
Yeah.
I made the wild and reckless mistake of going into a Spirit Halloween store yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I want to say this. Whatever they're doing, their employees are amazing. The line started at the front door and went all the way to the back of the store.
Oh, yeah.
And I got in that line and I was like, well, I just need to play a game on my phone. I'm going to be here for half an hour. Like 5 minutes later, I was being called up to the cash register. They should be running, Spirit Halloween should be running everything.
Listen, they're making that. You can't print money as fast as they're making it this week. Oh my gosh.
Boy, no kidding.
You know,
I
Sheri.
want to say hi to Vicky Siegel in Maine. and Renee in Wake Forest. Hey, Regina Girl in Florida. And Jane Stevens. Nick Barr is enjoying your costume, Bob. Hi, Robert Fisher. Cannot be unseen. Oh, tell me about it. And Jen Benefield. She has a joke. Hey, I got it. What does Jeff Bezos do before bed?
What?
He puts his pajamas on.
That's
All
great.
right. All right. A little Halloween humor. Very
That
good.
was
Very good.
Very
Hey,
good.
Sherry, we should have gotten these costumes when we were putting up with the bullshit from the old station and just come into a staff meeting dressed like this.
Just stone face. No.
Just like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't say anything.
No comment, no acknowledgement.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
Jane's in Lyman. She's already finished her margarita.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
This is the best way to have a sober.
Hang on. Someone's coming in here. Someone's coming in here.
Officer,
Yes.
I know I was speeding.
Mm-hmm. You were.
Is there anything I can offer you that you haven't had lately to get out of this trouble?
You're going to make pancakes?
Wow.
Oh my God.
That was good acting. I got to tell you, that was well done, Butte. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Adam Parker says she needs to be inspected. That's why I am the inspector.
So I have to tell you all, Beetlejuice can't really see. So
No.
can't read
Y'all, I don't know what y'all are writing on this thing because I don't have my glasses. I just see like squiggly marks. I don't know.
How long did it take to put that together? I got to ask you.
We've been
Guys,
working
real
on
quick,
it.
can you
We've
say
been
happy
working on it.
birthday to Sherry Wallace? She's spending her birthday with us here tonight. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yay. Hello from Old Orchard Beach. Yeah, baby. That's a beautiful place. Who else do we have coming in here? I wonder if, oh, yeah. Mary is the queen. Yes, you were tonight, darling. Let me see what else. I love that you took your masks off.
Lamar, you did such a phenomenal job. How long did it take you?
Carla did all the makeup. About an hour. About
It's
an hour.
worth
Man.
it. You look
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, you really do. Are you gonna do that again tomorrow? Answering the door with kids?
No.
No. Oh man, Halloween. I'm trying to think. I guess most of the time I was a hobo.
As a kid?
Yeah.
The
I can't
classic
keep
when your
I can't
parents
keep
don't
the
give a
stash
damn.
on, and I want to because so many women are saying you're rocking the stash.
I've always thought you could wear a mustache. You've always disagreed.
Well,
No,
some of his
they're-
older pictures, he's got one.
yeah, and I look like an idiot.
No, I think he looked good.
When I was a kid, my parents they would buy us the costumes that had the really awful plastic mask with the rubber band that went around your face.
He came
Yeah.
in the box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the tiny.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just that the eye holes were small and you couldn't see at night while you were trick or treating. They were small and they also cut into the delicate flesh around your eyes.
And you couldn't breathe.
No.
You couldn't breathe.
No.
And I can remember, I want to take my mask off. And my father was like, "Do we have a money tree? Keep that mask on."
But those costumes, when you saw them in the store, like in a drugstore,
Oh yeah.
because they didn't have Halloween stores. When you saw those costumes, the way they were presented in that box,
Yes.
you wanted that so much.
Yeah.
And you believed the advertising, right? You believed that if you bought that Scooby-Doo costume, you really
Yeah.
were going to look like Velma or Shaggy.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
even as a kid, kids don't know how the world works and they're naive and stuff. But even as a kid, you took that thing out of the box and went, "This doesn't really look like Scooby-Doo, Mommy."
I don't look like Superman.
Oh my God.
Hey, listen, I was lucky because back when I was a kid, those things, that whole non-flammable, nobody even thought about that. You
They
got close,
didn't.
you get close to the fireplace in one of them costumes, you're
You're
going up,
gone.
buddy. You're
You
going
are gone. The last time I went, it's funny. No matter how many years you live away from where you were brought up, you refer to it as home. You
Mhm.
know, like the last time I was home, which is North Haven, Connecticut. I drove through. I always drive through the neighborhood that I was like 5 years old, and I go by it, and I can remember the people who lived there. The Lanes lived over here, and the O'Connors lived over here. The Kaminskis lived over here, and right at the end of the street, there was a couple. They were older. They were the Grays, and they didn't want to have anything to do. I think they went out to dinner or something, but the lights were off. However, they left a big. I mean, the box was this big of Hershey's with almonds just piled in that box.
Them's rich people Halloween candies right there.
But the thing, yeah, I agree. The Grays had a little money, I think. But the thing was, they trusted the kids in the neighborhood, not to walk off of the box. And year after year, when I went there was always candy in the Grays box, and you would take one and walk away. And I don't know what that said about the Grays or the neighborhood or the kids or me.
Or the times.
Or the time, yeah, maybe the times, yeah.
See, we didn't go uptown. My mom, we wouldn't go uptown to go. And that's where you could really get the stuff. But you were so many people up there because we lived way out in the country. We lived about 13 miles out of town.
Yeah.
So my mom would get me in the car, and we would drive to a house. We'd drive up the dirt road driveway. I'd get out. I'd walk up. I'd open the bag, and they would just dump tons in there because they're only going to get about 5 trick-or-treaters. And then we'd drive, half a mile to the next house. We hit about 5 or 6 houses, and I mean, that's it. I mean, you had all you could stand. I mean,
I got to give it to your mother for doing that. I mean, that took a little bit of effort to do that.
Well, my mother is one of the greatest women. She really is. Everything I learn about her, I'm like, oh my God, Doris, you icon. My brother and his friends, so this is before we moved to Wyoming, he was so much older that he was allowed to, he had all sorts of freedoms that me and my other brother didn't. And so we would get to go trick-or-treating just around the neighborhood. And every Halloween was the same. We had Campbell's tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches, and then off we went to trick-or-treat. But my brother was allowed to stay out for hours with his friends. He would literally come home with one pillowcase filled with candy, dump it, and go back out and come back with another pillowcase filled with candy. Those boys walked miles trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
It was the greatest night of the year.
Yeah. Have you ever had you go to the door and you answer the door? We don't have any trick-or-treaters here at all. The average age is deceased where we live. And so, but the last house Mary and I lived in, there were a lot of kids, except the lots were big, but we still had some kids show up. Have you ever opened the door and you got like 4 of them out there, and you put the one in, you put the next, but there's always one who's a little cocky, just a little cocky, and pushes it a little bit. Like,
yeah.
How about another? It's kind of late. Can we get another, please? And he's looking you straight in the face. I admire those kids. Yeah. That kid is going to be the sales manager.
Salesman. He's going to be a
or a Chevy dealership's local salesman, manager. Just chutzpah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think any kid that goes trick-or-treating deserves candy. I don't care. I know it's a very unpopular opinion, but I don't care. A fully grown grandpa could show up at my door with bunny ears on, and he's getting a Snickers bar.
Well, hey, listen, there's effort. Okay, I just like to see some effort. Do something. That's right.
Is there no cutoff of age, though? Because
not for me. Mm-mm.
I don't know. Somebody shows up, they're 17, 18 years old. They're 6
feet. They
feet
got a costume on and a candy bucket. They get in the Snickers bar.
Suppose they don't have a costume. Suppose they don't, and they're 16, 17 years old.
I'm assuming that they are interested in getting a Snickers bar. I'm still in my old neighborhood, Bob. I
Yeah.
had that exact scenario you're describing.
Yeah.
One Halloween, I mean, we had given away so much candy. Kevin went to the store, bought more candy. I was emptying the kids' school snacks, fruit by the foot or whatever, right? And toward like it was about 9:45 or so, a group of teenagers rang the doorbell, and the costuming was minimal, but all they wanted was candy. And I certainly wasn't going to yell at them or lecture them or be any kind of an asshole. I just gave them some candy and off they went.
No, I get that. I get what you're saying. You know what one of my favorite moments in any movie comedy was Grumpy Old Men with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, and it's Halloween, and obviously they're both widowers, and the doorbell rings, and Walter Matthau has not gone out. He's the grumpiest of the grumpy old men, and he opens up the door, and there's a kid there alone. He's a trick-or-treater. And he looks down at the kid, and you know that he says to himself, oh, geez. Hang on just a minute. He goes over and he gets a small stapler and he throws it in the kid's back.
Because what he has.
There you go.
Here's how I feel about it, and everybody is free to turn your porch light off and hide, but a teenager showing up on my doorstep is a teenager that's still trying to have a childhood, and I'm on board.
Well,
okay.
So when I was in college, we met a couple of people that were never allowed to trick or treat by their parents. So they were like 19 years old, and we were like, come on, let's go. And we drove to a neighborhood out and took them trick or treating. Like we all dressed up and went, because it's like one of those things that you should be able to do. So I always think about that when someone a little older shows up at my door. It's just candy.
It's been many years ago, and Carla hadn't made it home with the candy, and we'd waited till the last minute, and I was actually cooking something on the stove, and I don't know, it was something stupid. I mean, I was cooking something, and the doorbell rang, and I'm freaking out, and I go, and there's a kid, and it's early. I mean, he's early. It's, he's really early, and he's got the bag out. I got no candy. I went and found a couple of dollars, and I gave him $2.
You gave him cash?
$2. I don't know what else to do,
I mean, what are you going to do? Give him a can of Campbell's soup?
Yeah, I mean, pick you up a little something,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good for you. Good for you.
I would have loved a can of soup as a kid. I would have been very excited.
Part of the fun of it is, yes, the candy. But trick-or-treating with your friends, it's like not only you're in a costume and you're getting candy, but you like have some independence, you're out at night. Like there's so much adventure to it. And we like our culture is so schizoid. Like on the one hand, it's these damn kids sit on their screens and they don't go outside and they grow up too fast.
Yeah.
Whoa. And then one rings your damn doorbell and says trick or treat, and you're like, you're too old.
Jim from Minnesota just said something that was really interesting. He said, it's so damn cold here so much of the year that you could have a great costume, but you can't be walking around with this little tiny polyester Superman outfit on.
No,
because it's 10 degrees. And so he said, we have to put coats on. And the costume didn't really matter. Nobody could see the costume. And it wasn't that cold in Connecticut when I was trick-or-treating. But I will tell you that I do remember this time of the year, it was brisk. It was very, very brisk. And I don't know what the temperature is there right now, but I don't think it's all that cold. And where I live at the beach, it's warm. So obviously, climate change, whatever it is, things have changed. But if you're that far up north in Minnesota this time of the year, you got a coat on when you're going out.
I always had one lady on my trick-or-treat route, and she was the same lady that always left her phone off the hook for the party line. But you would go up and you would say trick or treat, and she would say, take your mask off. Let me see that. And I'm like, I didn't want to take my mask off. And she would not give you candy unless you took the mask off. I mean, I'm saying, what? She was a
Yeah. Did she, did she
I
just,
was fixing to
maybe
say
she
what
wanted to
was.
know all the kids in the neighborhood. Maybe she just wanted to know.
No, she was just not that way. Her name
Really?
was Julia. Julia, I can't remember her last name. She was not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There are people that aren't. I mean, let's just call it like it is. There are some pretty mean people out there who, well, you know what? I like. Here's a red flag dating test for me. Find a way to ask the person that you're seeing if they've ever turned their porch light off on Halloween. And if the answer is yes, girl, you run. Because that's not
Did
what
you
they're
just hiss?
showing you is that they don't have a generosity of spirit. They don't have a sense of play or of whimsy. They're just kind of angry and crabby, and you don't need that.
Sherry,
You
let
know,
me say this. Everything that you say has way more gravity behind that mask. I mean, it just seems sinister and real, and I'm afraid not to do whatever you're saying.
I'm telling you, we should have negotiated with contracts with you dressed up like that. He's right. He's exactly right. Is there a time though where you have to, with elderly people, just give them a pass that they turn off the lights? And
If you're not mobile, if
Yeah.
you're struggling with your mobility or your health, if you're struggling with your budget,
that's what I'm
a
saying.
different thing. But I think we know that's not what we're talking about here, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Robert
That's not
Fisher just
really
said, I only turn the porch light off when the candy runs out.
Well, of course. I mean, yeah, unless you're going to start handing out frozen pork chops and cans of chicken stock. I mean, at some
Or
point.
cash. I mean, you can give cash.
I haven't had that problem in a long time. I wish I had that problem. We don't get very many.
Yeah. We probably get we used to get just droves of them. They would come into the neighborhood and they'd be like a riding lawnmower pulling a trailer with hay and and all this kind of stuff and kids. But now trunk or treat, man. Trunk or treat has done away. Trunk or treat
ruins everything.
Yeah, trunk or treat.
Yeah, I think you're right. That started in my kids' era. That all of a sudden, some of them were going to like local strip malls. The strip mall was putting it on.
Schools do it. A lot of churches
advertising
do it.
Yeah. And I thought that is lame. And it's too commercial.
The good side of trunk or treat though, they got hot dogs normally.
If you think about just like the year, right? How many chances do we have to just play? Halloween is the most playful holiday we have.
Yeah.
How many chances do we have to be generous, right? With the kids in our neighborhood? I don't understand why everything is such a freaking burden and problem. If you're lucky to be dressed up as Beetlejuice. You're privileged to be able to give candy to kids in the neighborhood. What kind of friggin' hill is that to die on? Like, I don't understand.
One of the great moments in kiddom is when you've gone out, and if you were lucky enough, and I'm just going to say it this way, to live in a populated area. I've never lived in New York, but for a week or two at a time. I don't know what trick-or-treating is like that, but I was a kid in suburbia, and there were a lot of houses you could go to because the houses were built for the greatest generation coming back from the war. The lots were small. People were somewhat prosperous. So it was just a perfect setup, as a kid. One of the great moments is you finish that trek and it's like 9:30 and you're up later than you normally are, maybe even 10 o'clock. And you got that pillowcase and you take it back to your house and you do not show it to anyone else. You go right into your bedroom and you dump it out and you start separating
it.
Yeah. The good stuff from the crummy stuff. My brother was 5 years younger than I was, and I'm separating and go, hey, Ken, yeah, I had fun. Here's some Necco wafers for you.
You know what was great about Olivia and Karamia? So they would we lived in a neighborhood where it was super awesome for trick-or-treaters, and every
Yeah.
Halloween we would have like all their friends over to trick-or-treat in our neighborhood, and I would make chili for the parents, and it was super fun. So my girls would go trick-or-treating, and at the end of the night, and there were no curfews, there were no bedtimes on Halloween. We just lived our lives, right? At the end of the night, all the kids would dump their bags on the living room floor, and they would begin doing swap and shop.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
my
Yeah.
girls, their favorite things were Smarties, Skittles, Jolly Ranchers. And I was like, oh, those disgusting Reese's peanut butter cups. Let mommy get rid of those hideous. All the good stuff they didn't want it. Oh my God, it was bliss.
Miranda just said that I'm kind of looking like a stripper that she had at a bachelorette party recently.
That is the vibe.
Just joined us, Miranda. Enjoy.
Turn around, Bob, and give us a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh! Wow.
Call me Bob. You call me Inspector.
You call me pussy. Mm.
All right, we'll let that one fly. We were in Maine, in Bangor, Maine, the four of us, just a few weeks ago, and we had a couple of hours off between meeting listeners and working with the local affiliate and clients, and we went over to Stephen King's house, which is in Bangor, Maine. And there were a few other people there taking pictures of it. And of course, I think a lot of people know that the house is very Victorian, very large, very beautiful on a lovely street, and is surrounded by wrought iron with bats on the top of the wrought iron. We just had somebody from Bangor saying that street is like the most popular street.
Oh,
because it's not just his house. The other houses on that street are very nice too, right? And Stephen and his wife used to give out candy there, and then I think it became too much. I don't even know how much he lives there, but that street is the street for local kids to go and trick or treat.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine.
You know, I had, it was really interesting. The last house that Mary and I were in, we didn't get a lot of kids because the lots were pretty big. It was kind of woodsy, but once in a while, a family would pull up, and I could tell by the accents that they were a Hispanic family, and probably were not residents, because I knew a lot of the people there of that community. They were the sweetest people that I got. They were so nice. The kids were so polite, and the moms and dads would stay in the car and they would say, "Thank you so much. Thank you so much." And the kids would get in, and I guess they'd go to the next house. And that impressed me so much that the parents were with them, and the parents were appreciative, and everybody was happy. I just thought that was just such a great thing.
I like to watch when the parents come, and like I say, it's not as much now because of the trunk or treat, but you know, they've got the kids. Maybe you got one in a stroller. They're
Yeah.
up, and the parents are dressed up too. I mean, it's a really cool. It's a great family holiday. I mean, at this point though, the big bucks are the adults at Halloween. I mean, this is like it's the party. It's the party time in America.
What did you say the other day? I think I don't know if we were on mic or off mic.
We were.
What did you? How much money is spent this year on Halloween?
12 billion?
12 billion.
12 billion?
Yes.
Oh.
It's second only to Christmas as far as revenue. I mean, it's huge. I mean, think about it. You go in. I stopped this afternoon on the way home. I stopped at Party City just to get some glue, whatever. What I get?
Spirit gum?
Yeah, spirit gum. And the place is and the shelves are almost empty. I mean, people are just grabbing stuff. I mean, yes. And and like you say, Sheri, you stopped at a Spirit. That place has been smoking like this for the whole month. I mean, people spend a ton on Halloween. It's a big, big deal.
How did I miss that as a business? I thought I had the biggest,
in the world, yeah.
In the world, but to work just for like a month, a year.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a deal.
I mean, doesn't it make sense to you that people are looking to let off steam and
Yes.
play and just be silly? And
Yeah.
also, and I talked about this in a recent True Weird Stuff episode, Americans are so phobic about death and so squeamish about death that if it wasn't for Halloween, we'd never talk about it at all. But buddy,
Yeah.
we love having tombstones in the front yard and coffins and the undead and the recently dead and the almost dead. Like, it's our way of sort of venting that fear that we have.
Is that what you think? Really? You think
It
that's
is.
part of the
If
appeal?
If you want to know how important this is, when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, I want you to look. Now, at Christmas time, there's a lot of blow-ups and stuff. But at Halloween, you've got 8-foot mummies that are moving and talking. And I mean, these things are so elaborate. And I thought, who buys that? I was at Home Depot and I'm watching a guy go out the door with, I mean, he must have spent $500 or $600. I mean, it's a big deal. It's a big
You know what's really freaky? I took Finn to Home Depot, not for this purpose, but this was like 3 years ago. And so we're walking through it was Lowe's. It was Lowe's. And we're walking through Lowe's, and there's that, what you're describing, the Halloween area, and there's an animatron of like a spooky skeleton or something. And it's about 4 or 5 feet tall.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's real, and it's activated by motion. So Finn and I are walking by, and he's in front of me, and all of a sudden goes, he stopped, backed away, and just stood and looked, and then went up again. That thing was freaking that dog out so much.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a big holiday. It really is.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's fun. That's just the bottom line. Whether you're 6 or 26 or 60 or whatever, it's a fun holiday. It is.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and dressing up, and if you're an adult, it's been years since you got to dress up. I mean, you know, so I mean, yeah.
Now, one thing, we talked about this briefly on the show, but I was at the Spirit Halloween store, and I just have to say it again. This is the first Halloween in my adult life where it wasn't the sexy everything. I didn't
Yes.
see any sexy costumes.
No. I know that because we had that conversation, and I went to Spirit last week, and I looked. No.
We're
not
finally
really.
done, maybe, or at least we're done for the moment with, I'm a sexy sous chef. I'm a sexy Jiffy Lube employee. I'm a sexy cantaloupe. Like, we're finally done.
You know what I saw that was so funny on Bill Maher the other night? Who's the guy on MSNBC that is so famous for doing the breakouts of election? Steve Kornicki. And Maher had unusual Halloween costumes, and he had the sexy Steve Kornicki, and he's got shorts on like me, but they're khaki.
Let me ask Heather. Heather, have you noticed that there's no like the sexy this year?
Yeah, you have to be actively seeking that out. It's not being shoved down your throat like it has
Like
always
used to
been.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed it.
And I'm not sure what that might mean, other than we just finally got bored with, oh, I'm a sexy Bluey. Bitch, do not sexualize Bluey.
That's
What
right.
will come for you?
That's right.
I was
You're
pretty
not a
excited
sexy
about it.
Bluey. You're not a sexy Peppa Pig. Those are for kids. And we
What
just
were
got
the
bored
first?
with it.
What were the first sexy ones? I think it was the sexy nurse, right?
The sexy
And French
nose,
maid.
sexy
French
cow.
maid. Yeah.
And what?
Witch. And witch.
Oh, the
Sexy
sexy
witch.
witch. Yeah.
And sexy vampire. Sexy vampire.
Yeah.
I knew that we had jumped the shark the first time I saw the sexy nun costume.
I
Yeah.
know. Oh, that
Yeah.
was wrong.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
very wrong.
Excuse me, this woman took a vow of poverty and chastity. She's the literal bride of Jesus. Put a bra on, okay? Do not disrespect Sister Benedicta like this.
Did I ever tell you about the sexy nuns in New Orleans that I was dealing with?
Like at Mardi Gras?
Yeah.
Oh, I
So
bet that was depraved.
I'm out.
I
out.
found a spot in Mardi Gras, and the crowd is below me, and they're going crazy. and I got a cameraman, and we're going live to WBTV in Charlotte. I was working for at the time, and so they figured, this guy with the PM Magazine show, he's down there. Let's go ahead and use him, and he'll do a little shot, and we got something kind of cool. So I say to the cameraman, what I want you to do is start on me. I'll say where I am once they toss it to me. And then I'll say, let me give you a look at the crowd. So I can hear in the earpiece, it's 3, 2, 1. You're up with Bob. All right, we got Bob Lacey, and he is in New Orleans, and I'll bet that is a good time tonight. Mardi Gras going on. Thanks very much, Karen. Yeah, it's something. I want to give you a moment just to take a look at what Bourbon Street looks like right now. And the cameraman slowly pans over, and there's hundreds. And there are 2 girls, women, down below who've been watching me and waiting, and they're dressed as nuns. And they flashed.
Oh, no.
We don't approve.
Nope.
And they flashed.
Not approve.
And that cut. And it was live. They couldn't get rid of it.
It was before the delay, too, wasn't it?
It was before delay. Yeah, right.
No, I couldn't. No, that's out. No, that's absolutely out.
Oh, somebody said Jimmy Wayne is here.
Oh, you're kidding. Where's
What?
Jimmy?
Yeah, I guess he was in the comments. Hi, Jimmy. I missed your
Hi,
comment.
Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy, I wish you could be with us tonight. Oh, my goodness.
And Q98 is here, too.
Oh, yeah, I see. No, I'm good.
There he is. Yeah. Jimmy Wayne just popped up.
It's perfect emoji, Jimmy.
He just put a perfect emoji to the nun story that I just told. Thank you. I can't describe it, but thank you.
We had to clean her glasses because it's getting kind of foggy in here.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
Jimmy. Hey, Rebecca and Billy and Kat and Teresa and Susan and Shirley and Mary and Tara. Now that I can see a little bit better, I can see the chat stream.
Did you guys have a street that used to go down when you were kids to see all the Halloween decorations? Because
Oh, yeah.
here it was Union Street and Concord and all those old historic houses. It would be giant spiders and skeletons and zombies and all sorts of.
When I was a kid, it wasn't that elaborate.
I'll be right back.
Once my kids got to be up, it was more elaborate, but nobody. It was, Halloween has really grown so much. I mean, a ton, and a lot of it's the adults, I think. But the kids are still having a great time.
I think a lot of like my generation, the millennials, like Halloween is kind of our thing because I like Halloween almost more than Christmas. I just love the goofiness of it, the fun spirit of it, and I like the colors. It's like, I like the fall colors. So
we spend a lot of money collectively on Halloween, but it's not a gift-giving holiday. It's a holiday that's just supposed to be fun and silly. And
you're just paying. You're spending your money on fun. I mean, you really are. You're not giving gifts. You're not receiving gifts. You're spending a lot of money, but it's having a good time. And, that's true. It's very true.
That's why I'm against making these arbitrary pronouncements about who may or may not receive a fun-sized Milky Way. Like, what? Stop it.
Sheri, you may not know this, and Carla and I didn't know this till we started camping, but at Myrtle Beach, the big camp, what's the other campground?
Ocean Lakes?
Yeah, Ocean Lakes. Halloween is like off the chain at this place. I mean, right now, you would have to call right now to get a reservation for Halloween next year. Yes, but I mean it's booked. It's booked, and people will rent double spots, and they will put up haunted houses on lots for people to walk through. And there's a Halloween house down there that 365 days a year it's decorated, and it's an amazing place. Oh my gosh. I mean, all the windows have figures in them. I mean, it's nuts. And I talked to a guy last year when we were down there, and him and his wife always come down, and he said, listen, He said, you don't even think about coming in here on Halloween if you don't have over 1,000 pieces of candy. You got to have it lit because they're coming. And I mean, it's just the whole place goes nuts. I would love. We keep talking about it. I would love to go down there for Halloween because it's crazy. It's crazy.
What I love about that is that there are so many people, fully grown adults, who have jobs and responsibilities and broken hearts or whatever, and yet they are so focused on creating a magical experience for other people. How can you not love that?
Yes. I mean, you think about it. You rent 2 lots down there, and then you put up like tents and you do haunted. I mean, it's everybody tells the way they describe it, it's unbelievable. I mean, it really is. It's cool.
Do you like to go through those haunted houses where you get scared?
No.
I don't either.
My greatest haunted house story. Haunted house story. We went with the girls. We took Alex and a friend of hers, Carla and I did, and so we're in this haunted house, and it's at an art center or something. So it's cool, but it's not like chainsaws and stuff. But it's cool. Right. And it's a bunch of artists and stuff. So we're going through it, and the music's going crazy. So I'm behind Carla, and I got my hands on her shoulders, and we're walking through, and I'm trying to help her get through and whatever. Well, all of a sudden, this monster guy comes up to me and taps me on the shoulder, and he points at Carla, and he holds his hands up. So I take my hands off of Carla's shoulders. He puts his hands on her shoulders, and we start walking. And so we take about 10 or 15 steps, and Carla turns around thinking she's going to tell me something. And this guy's like got this monster. Oh, my God. It was the greatest. It was the greatest.
That is a great routine. I didn't see that coming.
And I bet he does it every time somebody comes through.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was so good. Yeah, well, I thought it was funny. Okay.
I don't like those things. Mary's kids, I don't remember taking my kids through that. I don't think they had any interest, but Mary's kids wanted to go, and we went when Mary and I were first dating. And I don't know, there's just something about a 17-year-old boy with a chainsaw that is been
and
cranked up.
I understand there's not a chain on the saw. I get it. I know that.
Yeah.
But I cannot make my mind understand that. I cannot, man. I cannot. Here's my second Halloween story. So years ago, Gabriel was young. He was in probably early middle school, and he had never been on a haunted trail, and that's all he talked about was a haunted trail. And so it's a Sunday afternoon, and he's disowned me about this haunted trail. And so the neighbor down the street, he comes over, and so both of them say, take us to the haunted trail. I said, okay, I'm done. I'm taking them. So when it gets dark, we drive to the haunted trail. So as we pull up, it's like a haunted forest. As we pull up, and all the way up there, Gabriel is talking shit. I mean, he is talking it. He's like, oh yeah, I know they can't touch me. I'm not scared of them. I'm not worried about them. I mean, he's ready to go. We pull in, and as we pull in the car, he's got the window down looking. This crowd of people comes screaming out of the woods, and there's a bunch of werewolves with chainsaws chasing them, and he's going, oh, whoa, I'm not doing this. So I parked the car, and I said, look, son, we've got the car parked. Let's just walk up front. Nobody's going to hurt you. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So we get out of the car, and we walk up there to where you pay. And I said, now listen, I don't mind. He said, no, don't pay. Oh, no. He says, we get back in the car. He never mentioned haunted houses again. It was hilarious.
He didn't go through? He didn't go through it?
No, did not go through. We made the trip up, the trip back. He didn't go because he was.
One of the most fun things I did with the kids. So Karamia was little, like maybe 8 or 9. And Kevin and I took Russell and Zane, Olivia and Karamia's friend Katie on a Halloween zombie paintball hunt.
Ooh.
So it was cold that night. I mean, and you were like shivering, and everybody had like an allotment of paintballs, and you never knew when the zombies were going to come flying out at you, and it was dark. So there was all this extra tension. Karamia unloaded every paintball they gave her on one zombie.
That would be me.
It was so much fun. It was so fun.
I don't like being
still have that anymore. I think maybe COVID eliminated that, but stuff like that.
Yeah.
God, if you can do it, and not everybody can, because those things are not cheap.
Right.
You can do it. What a cool memory, right?
Yeah. Everybody's talking about our buddy. Everybody's talking about our country music buddy,
Jimmy Wayne.
Jimmy, and saying they love him, and I wish we could hear from him tonight. I do too. I wonder where he is. I wonder if he's performing tonight. Obviously, it's a later show.
He's on the road all the time. I just saw him on his Facebook the other day. I mean, he does what Jimmy does. You know him as a singer-songwriter and a dreamboat. But what he has done to raise awareness and funds and drive legislation for kids aging out of the foster system is just amazeballs. Heather, we have to see if Jimmy's around. Maybe he can pop in on our Christmas tree lighting happy hour.
I've actually already booked Jimmy for a Christmas tree.
Good. Yeah. And Jimmy, I know you're busy. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. That's so sweet.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I just a little teaser for the Christmas tree lighting that's happening in December. I've already booked Jimmy and Nicole Birch to come back with us this year.
Oh, good.
Oh, I adore her. I can't wait to hear how things have been going for her.
Yeah.
My glasses are fogged up again, so it's hard to say if Billy said
It's nuts.
And if you don't get it right around now, if you don't get it by the first week of November, there's nothing there when you go to get it.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
you love Christmas, but it gets to the point where you feel wiped out by the pressure and stress.
Yeah.
Oh, people are saying they lost audio. Hang tight, guys.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. Technical.
Not your fault.
We're having a night. Jimmy needs a sip.
Well, if we need to wrap it up, we're about at an hour. So
sorry, my cat has also decided to join.
Yeah. I mean, it's still coming through on Carlos.
People are saying no.
I mean, I don't want to bounce if Jimmy's going to try to jump in.
Yeah.
Let me check my device here.
Yeah.
Let me ease in for a close-up because I know it makes Lamar nervous.
Oh, God. I won't be able to sleep tonight.
it looks like that cat clock.
I'm still able to get the audio, guys, on my phone. So try refreshing on. Oh, they can't hear me. Let me type it in the type box.
Are you going to keep that costume, Share, or are you going to like do something with it? That's just. God.
People are saying the sound is back now.
Okay.
Heather.
Am I going to do something with this costume? Oh, the weekend is coming.
Oh, my friend, Mrs. Lacey is in for a very good weekend coming up with the inspector.
She's got the right to remain silent, but we hope she don't.
I don't know who it was with Reno 911 that came up with that one cop with the short shorts, but that was the most brilliant character that I'd seen in a while.
They were all great. It was
Yeah,
a great
yeah.
show.
Robert wants
All
to
right.
know if that mask is rubber. Let's just say it's washable.
All right. Well, we got to wrap it up. It's been fun. It's been crazy. We had ghosts that evidently were in and out of the equipment, but Heather put it all together, pulled it all together as she always does. And thank you, Heather, very much. Lamar, I guess we'll probably see you on the show a little later because it's going to take about 12 hours to get that makeup off you.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Sheri,
Yeah, Carla put it on, but she's not going to help take it off.
no, she won't. And
on my
Sheri probably is semi-conscious. And I'm kind of digging this look for myself here right now. The
You have the legs
shades.
for it, Bob Lacey. How many times
Thank
have I
you.
told you that you do not capitalize on that asset enough? Stand up one more time and give the ladies and the gentlemen a little something to remember.
Yes. Yes.
I turn around, do a full pivot, baby.
That's right.
Woo!
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get it.
Reverse, forward, reverse. All right. The inspector needs to go get something to eat tonight. Thank you, everybody, for
Thank you so
putting
much.
up with our
Enjoyed
foolishness.
it. We've had a
Yeah.
great time.
We had a great time. And we'll be seeing you down the road. Have a happy Halloween and also a very, very safe one. And listen to us wherever you listen to us. And we appreciate it on Halloween. It's Bob and Sheri.